All right, buckle up, because today we're going deep on a town that's making headlines, Celina, Texas. Yeah, you heard right. It's Celina, not Celina, not Celina. This place is booming, and we're not just talking like a little growth spurt here. It actually topped the list of fastest growing cities in the U.S.
Yeah, it's really a fascinating shift we're seeing. For a while it was all about Central Texas, but now North Texas is taking the lead, and Salina, oh, it's right there at the forefront, with a population increase of 26.6% just from 2022 to 2023.
Whoa, so that's what, over 10,000 new people in a single year?
Hmm.
I'm looking at the numbers from the Celina Economic Development Corporation, and they're saying the 2023 population hit 43,717. Just try to imagine a town almost doubling in size in just a year. What would that even feel like?
It's kind of like watching one of those time-lapse videos of a plant growing, except it's happening in real time. And this growth, it's not just Salina. We're seeing it in other North Texas towns too, places like Princeton, Anna, Prosper. It's almost like Dallas-Fort Worth is expanding outwards, and these towns are like the next rung on the ladder.
That ladder analogy, that's really spot on. Because if you go back even a few years, Celina was all about that small town feel, Friday night football, those cute local shops, you know the vibe. But with all these new people coming in, is that charm still there?
It's a big question a lot of folks are asking. And to get some insight, we can actually look to what Selena's mayor, Ryan Tubbs, has been saying. He says one of the biggest draws for families is that sense of community, that desire to really put down roots. He keeps emphasizing the good schools and quality city services.
Speaking of good schools, I'm actually looking at info from the Celina Independent School District.
Yeah.
They're planning to build a whole new elementary school every single year for the next decade. That's wild.
Yeah.
But also, think of the impact. The school district's basically bracing itself to potentially triple in size in just a few years.
It really shows you how quickly Selena's growing. And when we talk about those quality city services, it's not just about, fancy parks and libraries, though they do have those too. It's about the core stuff, the water, the sewer systems, the roads, all the things that are crucial for handling growth like this.
Oh, absolutely. Because you can't just have thousands of new people move in without making sure the town can actually handle it, right? I'm guessing that's got to be one of the biggest challenges Selena's facing.
You hit the nail on the head. Projects like that Dallas North Tollway extension and the Collin County Outer Loop, those are vital for connecting Celina to the surrounding areas and keeping traffic flowing. It's really a race against time, these infrastructure projects. They're playing catch up with that population boom. But, we can't forget about the heart of what makes a place special.
Okay, so let's tap into that. I've been clicking around on the Visit Celina website and their guide, and it's full of these pictures of families at local events, bustling farmers markets, and those charming brick storefronts I mentioned earlier.
And what's so fascinating is how they're trying to bridge the old and the new. You've got events like the Celina Cajun Festival, Splash and Blast, Beware of the Square, Christmas on the Square, all listed on the website and in the city information. These are traditions, some drawing crowds well over 100,000, creating that sense of belonging for everyone, the folks who've been there forever and those just arriving.
I love it. Picture this. You're walking through a Friday night market, live music's playing, the smell of kettle corn's in the air. It's that classic small town charm, but in a town that's growing like crazy.
And that growth brings us right back to that Visit Celina website and what it's all about. Think of it like the digital town square. It's a place for residents and visitors to connect with local businesses, find out about these unique events, and share the stories that make Celina, well, Celina.
And it's really cool how they're using the website to give those local businesses a boost. In fact, some of our sponsors for this very deep dive, they're featured right there on the site. Big shout out to Lunar Window Cleaning, Exclusive Truck Customs, and Stryker Roofing for supporting us.
They're a perfect example of that entrepreneurial spirit that's alive and well in Celina. And speaking of supporting local, Visit Celina also has a whole section dedicated to showcasing local realtors.
Oh yeah, realtors must be hopping in Celina right now with all these new folks coming in. The website highlights some pretty impressive local experts, folks like Mike Farish and Coy Baker. They're known for really knowing the Celina market inside and out. But, it goes beyond just buying and selling houses.
Totally. Because a home, it's more than just bricks and mortar. It's about the community, the schools, the places where you spend your weekends, where you shop. And that's where Visit Celina comes in. It gives you that full picture of life in this town that's changing so fast.
It's like they're weaving a digital tapestry, bringing together Celina's past, present, and future. But, weaving a tapestry takes time, and Celina's not slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, how do you manage that balancing act? How do you welcome all these new people while holding on to what makes a place unique?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's one we'll keep unpacking as we dig deeper into Celina's story. Welcome back to our deep dive on Celina, Texas.
Before the break, we were talking about how Selena's trying to like weave together its past and its future, with all this incredible growth happening. It's a real balancing act.
It really is. And while Visit Celina does a fantastic job of showcasing that blend of old and new, I think we need to zoom in on one super important piece of the puzzle, the economic engine driving this growth.
Right. You can't have a town booming without the jobs, the businesses, that flow of money that keeps everything running. So what's fueling Selena's engine?
Well, I'm looking at info from the Celina Economic Development Corporation again, and it seems like a mix of smart planning and riding that wave from the Dallas-Fort Worth expansion.
Yeah, that ripple effect is key. Selena's becoming a real hub for businesses that want to be close to the Metroplex, but also want that, smaller town environment.
Mm.
Exactly. And the article I'm looking at specifically mentions the arrival of some big names, retailers like Costco, Lowe's, and Walmart. These aren't just stores, they're huge job creators.
Oh, absolutely. Those big box retailers, they provide a whole range of jobs, everything from entry level to management roles. And that brings in more residents, which fuels even more growth.
Like a snowball effect.
Right.
More residents need more stuff, which brings in more businesses, which creates more jobs, which
Yeah.
you get the picture.
Precisely. And it's not just retail driving things. The article also talks about the new Methodist Health System Medical Center that's coming in. We're talking a $237 million investment. That'll create over 200 jobs in healthcare alone.
Whoa, a major medical center like that, that's a game changer. It's not just about healthcare for the residents, it's about attracting medical professionals and their families to the area, adding to the town's, intellectual and economic capital.
You got it. And let's not forget the potential impact of HEB's recent land purchase in Celina. I mean, HEB, that's like a Texas institution, right? They're known for being pretty strategic about where they set up shop. They look for places with strong growth potential.
So HEB being there, that's a good sign for Selena's economic future, for sure. But it's not all about big corporations and chains. We've been talking a lot about Visit Celina, and I'm wondering, what are they doing to support those local businesses, the real heart and soul of any town?
Well, that's where their advertising opportunities come in. It's a platform for local businesses to really connect with a wider audience, and that's super crucial in a town that's growing this fast.
Right, because with all these new people moving in, local businesses need a way to stand out, to let people know what they offer.
Exactly. And Visit Celina offers a bunch of different options. Banner ads, featured business spotlights, realtor spotlights, even just standard business listings.
And speaking of which, another shout out to our sponsors for this episode. Lunar Window Cleaning, Exclusive Truck Customs, and Stryker Roofing. They're all using Visit Celina's platform to connect with the community.
They're a great example of the kind of diverse businesses you find in Celina. And for those looking to buy or sell property in this crazy market, Visit Celina highlights some awesome local realtors, like Mike Farish and Coy Baker.
It's really interesting how Visit Celina is becoming this central hub for everything Celina. Businesses, events, real estate. It's like a one-stop shop for anyone who wants to learn about the town or get involved.
It's a smart move, especially for a town going through such a transformation. It helps to create that sense of, continuity and connection, even as new folks and businesses are arriving all the time.
But I think it's also important to acknowledge that growth like this, it's not always smooth sailing. There can be some downsides, growing pains, and those are conversations we need to have too.
You're absolutely right. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a booming economy and shiny new developments. But we need to talk about the potential challenges that come with rapid growth.
Like what specifically? What are some things that Celina residents might be dealing with as their town changes around them?
Well, for starters, think about the strain on the infrastructure that's already there. We've talked about roads and transportation, but it goes beyond that.
Right. You can build all the houses and businesses you want, but if you don't have the water, the sewer systems, the schools, the healthcare facilities to support all those people, the whole system can get overloaded.
Think of it this way. If Celina's current water supply is like a garden hose filling up a bathtub, and that's enough for everyone now, imagine 10 more families trying to fill their bathtubs from that same hose. That's the kind of strain we're talking about.
Wow, that's a great way to visualize it. And it's a problem that affects everyone, not just the newcomers. Longtime residents feel it too, whether it's traffic jams, crowded schools, or even just a feeling that their town is becoming less familiar.
It's that sense of change that can be the hardest to adjust to. Because growth, Even when it's good in many ways, it always comes with the sense of loss. The quiet streets you used to know are now busy. The local shops you loved might be replaced by chain stores.
And that can make people feel like they're losing a piece of their community, their history, their sense of place.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important for towns like Celina to find ways to balance the growth with preserving what's already there. To not just focus on the economic benefits, but to actively protect the things that make the town unique and special.
So what does that look like in action? What are some things Selena is doing to try to have the best of both worlds?
Well, we talked about how they're investing in infrastructure, but they're also taking steps to really promote those local businesses and preserve that historical character. Think about those events we mentioned, the Celina Cajun Festival, Christmas on the Square. Those are traditions that build a sense of community, a shared experience that everyone can be part of.
And they're front and center on the Visit Selena website, which is like that digital town square, connecting people to local businesses, events, resources. It's a way of saying, hey, we're growing, but we still value our roots.
And that message is important, not just for the folks already living there, but for people thinking about moving to Celina, too. It's about attracting people who aren't just looking for a place to live, but a place to belong.
So as we move towards wrapping up our deep dive on Selena, I think the takeaway is that managing growth is complicated. There are economic pluses, there are challenges, and it's a constant balancing act between moving forward and preserving what's already there.
Selena's story is still being written, but it's a story that a lot of communities across America can relate to. And it leaves us with a big question to think about. What makes a place truly special, and how do we protect those qualities as the world around us keeps changing?
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been digging into Celina, Texas, and it's really a textbook example of how small towns are changing in, like, the 21st century. It's amazing to see how they're handling this massive growth while trying to keep that small town feel alive.
And the thing is, Selena's not the only one doing this. We're seeing it all over the U.S. People are moving out of those big cities, looking for a different pace of life. It's like the whole suburban dream is changing. And towns like Celina are becoming more than just places to sleep while you work in the city. They're creating their own vibe, their own identities.
Right, and that brings up a question we've been dancing around this whole time. Can you really keep that small town feel when the population's exploding like this? It's kind of like trying to hold on to a handful of sand while the tide's coming in.
That's a perfect way to put it. You're going to lose some of it no matter what. But Selena's doing what it can to hold on to the rest. That Visit Selena website, it's part of that effort, like a digital time capsule. You see those old photos of downtown, you learn about the history, you get a sense of what Selena's always been about.
It's like they're saying, hey, we're growing, we're changing, but this is where we came from.
But it's not just about looking back, right? It's about handling what's happening now and planning for what's next.
You got it. And one of the biggest hurdles for Selena, like a lot of fast-growing towns, is the infrastructure. We talked about roads and transportation, but it goes so much deeper than that.
Right, because you can build all the houses and businesses in the world, but if you don't have the water, the sewer systems, the schools, the hospitals to support all those people, the whole thing collapses.
Imagine this. If Selena's current water supply is like a garden hose filling up a bathtub, and that's enough for everyone now, picture 10 more families trying to fill their bathtubs from that same hose. That's the kind of pressure we're talking about.
That's a really powerful image. And it's something that affects everyone, not just the newcomers. People who've lived there forever, they feel it too. Traffic gets worse, schools get crowded, their town starts to feel different. Yeah, that feeling of change, that can be the toughest part. Because growth, even when it's good for the town, it always comes with some loss. The quiet streets are gone, those little shops might get replaced by big chains.
And that can make people feel like they're losing a piece of their home, their history.
Exactly, and that's why it's so important for towns like Celina to find ways to balance the growth with protecting what's special. It's not just about the money, it's about actively saving the things that make the town unique.
So how do they actually do that? What's Selena doing to try and have it both ways?
Well, like we said, they're putting money into those infrastructure projects, but they're also taking steps to promote those local businesses and preserve the town's history. Remember those events we mentioned? The Celina Cajun Festival, Christmas on the Square? Those are the kinds of traditions that create community, a shared experience for everyone.
And they're all over the Visit Selena website, which is like this digital town square connecting everyone to the local businesses, events, and everything. It's like they're saying, look, we're growing, but we still care about our roots.
And that message is important, not just for the people living there, but for folks thinking about moving to Celina. It's about attracting people who want more than just a house. They want to be part of something.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Celina, I think the biggest takeaway is that managing growth is tricky. There's good stuff that comes with it, there are challenges, and it's this constant back and forth between progress and preservation.
Celina's story is still being written, but it's one that a lot of towns across America are dealing with. And it leaves us with a question to think about. What makes a place truly special? And how do we hold on to that as the world keeps changing?
That's a fantastic question to leave our listeners with. So whether you're a Celina resident, thinking about moving to a growing town, or just interested in how communities change, we hope this deep dive has given you something to think about.
And if you want to learn more about Celina, don't forget about that. Visit Celina website. They've got tons of information. And who knows, you might even want to visit Celina yourself and see what it's all about.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.